Do you see the New Orleans Superdome on the right-hand side of your screen? What if I told you somewhere around the building or the parking lot used to be an old cemetery there? That cemetery was Girod Street Cemetery, or Protestant Cemetery. It was established in 1822 by the Wardens of Christ Church. It was the city's first Protestant cemetery and was established for the Protestant residents of the Faubourg Saint Mary. The cemetery consisted of 2,319 wall vaults and approximately 1,100 above-ground tombs. This is because New Orleans is below sea level. By burying the bodies in the ground, they would float right back up to the surface. That's if you get a really good rain or hurricane. When I was checking out Find a Grave on this cemetery, I wanted to see if there were any popular burials. Dr. Robert Dow popped up. He was a physician and a surgeon. This guy was born in 1753. He was from Scotland, then came to New Orleans sometime in the late 1700s. If you'd like to learn more about him, I'll leave his Find a Grave page in the video description down below. Girod Cemetery started declining in the early 19th century. No one wanted to take care of the cemetery. Why is that? There were so many pandemics going on in the early 19th century that a bunch of people were dying and all the bodies were being thrown at the gate. Well, no one wanted to properly dispose of them, so all the bodies were left out on the street close by the gate. The cemetery was so overwhelmed that there was no place to put the bodies. The smell was so horrible and people were complaining about it. Over the years, the cemetery was vandalized and looted by looters. They opened tombs, stole ironwork and statuary, and scattered human bones. When the word got out, people stopped using this cemetery and would go elsewhere to bury their loved ones. By the 1880s, the mayor of New Orleans suggested that the cemetery be demolished. The owners, Christ Church, tried their best to clean up the place so that this wouldn't happen. By 1957, workers had begun extracting thousands of cast iron and cypress caskets and readied them for their final journey. Racial segregation proceeded even in death. Black corpses went to Providence Memorial Park on Airline Drive, and the whites went to Hope Mausoleum on Canal Street. The land was sold off to the government for $300,000. By October 3rd, 1975, the New Orleans Superdome was being built right where Girod Cemetery was at. The parking lot is the exact spot where the cemetery was. Now here's a few bonus information that I wanted to throw in here. In 1971, workers were excavating the site for the upcoming New Orleans Superdome, and this was when they found the first skeleton. And more were discovered as they went deeper into the earth. By 1987, the construction crew were working on the shopping mall expansion near the Superdome and found many more human bones and grave markers. Now, in the 1980s, 20 skeletons were discovered between the Hyatt Regency Hotel and the Superdome. And the second thing that I wanted to go over Is the Superdome really haunted and cursed? This is what I found on Google that talks about it. People believe the New Orleans Superdome is haunted primarily because it was built on the site of an old cemetery, Girod Street Cemetery, meaning construction crew unearthed human bones and gravestones during the building process, leads to local legends of the curse of the Superdome and the lingering spirits from the cemetery grounds. Now, the curse goes on to talking about how the New Orleans Saints were losing game after game. Back in the year 2000, before the playoff against the Rams, the Saints brought in the voodoo priest, Ava K. Jones, completed with a boa constrictor draped around her neck, to lead the crowd in a purification ritual from midfield of the dome. That day, the team won their first ever playoff game. 10 years down the road, on February 10th, 2010, they won their first ever Super Bowl. Now, I know there's more to the story, its history, all about the Superdome, the cemetery, you name it. Feel free to add on more of this that you may know in the comment section down below. Next time you visit the Superdome and the parking lot in New Orleans, Louisiana, remember what used to be there. As always, I'll see you in the next one.